Hello students, welcome to the course on analog and digital communication system, and the course code is EC501. Myself, Dr. Shurojit Bosak, Assistant Professor of EC Department, Guru Nanak Institute of Technology. Today we are going to discuss on the lecture number 4 in module 3, that is pulse modulation. In the lecture 4, in the last class, we have discussed on pulse code modulation, delta modulation, adaptive delta modulation, DPCM, that is differential PCM, and multiplexing using PCM signals. Now today we are starting another chapter in the third module, that is data transmission. So let's start of data transmission. A data transmission system using binary encoding transmits a sequence of binary digits, that is 1 and zeros. Now these digits may be represented in a number of ways. For example, 1 may be represented by a voltage plus V held for a time interval 0 to t, and 0 is represented by a signal S2t held for an equal time, and the voltage is minus V. In general, these binary digits are encoded so that 1 is represented by a signal S1t and 0 is represented by a signal S2t, each have a duration of t. The resulting signal may be transmitted directly or used to modulate with a carrier. The received signal must be corrupted by noise, and hence there is a finite probability that the receiver will make an error in determining within each bit interval whether a 1 or 0 was transmitted. So what is the aim of this chapter? So in this chapter, we make calculation of such error probabilities and discuss the methods to minimize them. Okay. Next is the baseband transmission. A baseband signal receiver, consider that a binary encoded signal consists of a time sequence of voltage level plus V or minus V. Now we are interested only in knowing within each bit interval whether the transmitted voltage was plus V or minus V. With noise present, the signal received, that is the received signal, and noise together will yield sample value which is generally differ from plus minus V. So first of all, you have to know when the error will come. Suppose that the noise is Gaussian and the noise voltage has a probability density which is entirely symmetrical with respect to 0 volt. So we are considering that the noise is a Gaussian random variable which is symmetrical with respect to 0 volt. Then the probability that noise has increased the sample value is same as the probability that noise has decreased the sample value. Now, if the sample value is positive, then the transmitted voltage level was plus V. And if the sample value is negative, then we consider the transmitted voltage level was minus V. Then there is no question of errors. Then when error comes, it is of course possible that at the sampling time, noise may be of magnitude larger than V and has an opposite polarity. Again, I am repeating, it's a very important point. Suppose that at the sampling time, the noise may be of magnitude larger than V and has the opposite polarity assigned to the transmitted bit. In this case, according to our last theory, that although plus V was transmitted, but actually receiver anticipate that minus V is transmitted. So there will be a wrong decision. So in this case, error occur. Now I go to the baseband receiver. This is called baseband receiver. Here, the transmitted bit is represented by the voltage plus V, which is sustained over an interval capital T from T1 to T2. Here, noise has been superimposed on the label plus V, so that voltage V represents the received signal and noise. If now the sampling should happen to take place at a time T, which is T equal to say T1 plus delta T, an error will have been made. Now, this is the baseband receiver circuit. The signal ST with added white Gaussian noise. So we are assuming that the noise is white Gaussian noise, AWGN, with NT whose power spectral density GNF is equal to eta by 2. Here is presented to an integrator. At time t equal to 0 plus, just 0 plus, we require that the capacitor C needs to be uncharged. So such a discharge condition may be ensured by a brief closing of switch SW1 at the time t equal to 0 minus, thus relieving C of any charge it may have required during the previous interval. The sample is taken at the output of the integrator by closing the switch SW2. The sample is taken at the end of the bit interval at t equal to capital T. Remember that after sampling, the output is V0 capital T, and before sampling, the output is V0 small t. So don't confuse about V0 small t and V0 capital T. The signal processing indicates in this figure, which is called, this circuit also called integrate and dump circuit. The term dump referring to the abrupt discharge of the capacitor after each sampling. So capacitor is discharged after each sampling. That is why it is called integrator and dump circuit. So first we have to calculate the peak signal to RMS noise output voltage ratio. So SNR, basically we want to calculate the SNR or peak signal to RMS noise output voltage ratio. First we have to calculate it. So the integrator output which is the integral of its input multiplied by 1 by RC. So which is said tau equal to 1 by RC which is V0t is 1 by tau. Tau is the time constant 1 by RC, tau equal to RC. So it is 0 to t ST plus NT dt. ST is the signal and NT is the AWGN noise. So it is 1 by tau 0 to t, just simplify, break up, ST dt plus 1 by tau, separately I am written here, 1 by tau 0 to t NT dt. Now the sample voltage due to signal is S0t is the output voltage after sampling is just only due to the signal, 1 by tau 0 to t ST dt. So ST we are considering ST is plus V. So it will be VT. After integrating, it will be Vt by tau. Now the sample voltage due to noise is the second part, that is 1 by tau 0 to t NT dt. The noise sampling voltage N0t is a Gaussian random variable in contrast with NT, which is a Gaussian random process. The variance of, therefore, the variance of N0t is represented by rho square, rho 0 square is the mean square of N0t, that will be eta t by 2 tau square. Therefore, the output of the integrator before sampling is V0t. Just I am already told that the output of the integrator before sampling is V0t and after sampling is V0 capital T. So V0 small t is equal to S0t plus N0t before sampling, and the output signal after sampling is V0 capital T is S0t plus N0t, and S0t, that is the output signal, is basically a ramp signal. At the end of each bit interval, the ramp attains the voltage S0t, which is basically plus Vt by tau or minus Vt by tau, depending on whether the bit is 1 or 0. At the end of each bit interval, the switch SW1 in this figure closes momentarily to discharge the capacitor C so that S0t drops to 0. The sampling switch SWT close briefly just before the closing of switch SW1. Hence, we get the output V0t is S0t plus N0t. Hence, the signal to noise ratio is S0t square. Just we are squaring the input signal divided by N0t mean square of N0t, that is the noise variance, is V. Just first it is squaring the S0t, that is S0t is Vt by tau, so V square T square by tau square, and the denominator term is eta t by 2 tau square here. So it will be 2 by eta into V square t. The signal to noise ratio increases with increasing bit interval t, and it depends on V square t, which is the normalized energy of the bit signal. Therefore, a bit represented by a narrow high amplitude signal and one by a wide low amplitude signal are equally effective, provided V square t is kept constant. So V square t is nothing but the energy of the signal. Now we move for the calculation of error probability for this integrator and dump circuit. The function of a receiver of a data transmission is to distinguish the bit 1 from the bit 0 in the presence of noise, we now calculate the probability of error PE, P suffix E, for the integrator and dump circuit. We have seen the probability density of the noise sample N0T is Gaussian. So probability density of N0T, that is F N0T, if it is Gaussian, then it should follow this expression, that is e to the power minus N0 square T, that is mean 0 and variance sigma 0 square by 2 sigma 0 square divided by root over 2 pi sigma 0 square. It is the variance and mean 0. Now first you have to think when error comes. Suppose that during some bit interval, the input signal voltage is held at say minus V. Suppose that this point is very much important. When you have to find out when an error comes. Suppose that during some bit interval, the input signal voltage is held at say minus V. Then at the sampling time, the signal voltage is S0T, which is minus Vt by tau. If the input signal is say minus V, voltage level of minus V, that is S2T, then after sampling, the signal voltage will be minus Vt by tau, while the noise sample voltage is N0 capital T. Now, when error occurs, now if N0T is positive and larger in magnitude than Vt by tau, plus Vt by tau, then the total sample voltage V0T, which is S0 capital T plus N0 capital T, will be positive. Then in that case, such a positive sample voltage will result an error. Again, this I am repeating. See, listen very carefully. Suppose that we are transmitting S2T, say minus V, and after sampling, definitely it will generate minus Vt by tau. Now, at the sampling time, if N0T is positive and larger than the magnitude Vt by tau, then an error will come, because in that case, the receiver anticipates that S1T actually transmitted, but we are transmitting S2T. So in that case, an error will come. Now we are measuring that much error. So error probability is PE is equal to Vt by tau to infinity, because the integration limit is Vt by tau plus Vt by tau up to infinity ডান দিকে। So Vt by tau to infinity f n0t dn0t. So f n0t, that is the noise density function. Already I wrote here, that is following the AWGN noise, it is Gaussian function. So it is e to the power minus n0 square t by 2 rho 0 square variance divided by 2 pi sigma 0 square. So this is the density function of noise into dn0t. Now assuming that x is equal to n0t by root 2 sigma 0. So in that case, PE is equal to half into, so PE is equal to half into 2 by root over pi. If we integrate for dn0t for dx, which is the limit is v into root over t by tau to infinity e to the power minus x square dx. So this form, that is 2 by root over pi x to infinity e to the power minus x square dx, which is basically the complementary error function ERFC, complementary error function whose argument is x, that is v root over t by tau. So complementary error function, that means if argument is just inverse, if argument is higher, then the result will be lower, just for it is complement. So which is half ERFC v square t by tau, just square the argument to the power half. So v square t is nothing, already we knew that v square t is nothing but the signal energy Es. So Es is the signal energy of a bit, which is half ERFC. Therefore the probability of error is half ERFC Es by eta to the power half. Now if I plot the probability, error probability versus Es by eta, what will be the plot? So it is basically a monotonically decreasing function, because this argument, whenever this argument is increasing, then error probability become decrease. And what is the maximum value of error probability? It will be half. So this will show the curve of error probability PE versus Es by eta. For half ERFC, Es root over Es by eta, and it is a monotonically decreasing function. So PE decreases rapidly as Es by eta increases, and the maximum value of PE is half. It has a physical meaning. What is the physical meaning? Thus, even the signal is entirely lost in the noise, so that any determination of the receiver is a sheer guess. In that case, the receiver cannot be wrong more than half the time on the average. At least half of the bit interval, the receiver can predict minimum if the signal is completely lost by the noise. In that case, at least half of the bit interval, receiver can predict the correct decision. So it cannot be wrong more than half the time on the average. Now I move for the optimum filter. In the case of baseband signal receiver, the signal was passed through a filter, that is integrator, so that at the sampling time, the signal voltage might be emphasized in comparison with the noise voltage. We are naturally led to ask whether the integrator circuit is the optimum filter for the purpose of minimizing the probability of error. In that case, we shall find that the received signal contemplated in the system of the baseband receiver, the integrator is indeed the optimum filter. However, before returning specifically to the integrator receiver, we shall discuss optimum filter more generally. We assume that the received signal is a binary waveform, for just considering the general case, not any plus V, minus V or white Gaussian noise. So we assume that the received signal is a binary waveform and that are represented by S1T or S2T. So the input S1T or S2T is corrupted, must be corrupted by noise NT, and which is considered as a Gaussian noise whose spectral density is GNF. Then the signal and noise are filtered and then sampled at the end of each bit interval, sampling at every t second. So the output sample is either V0t is equal to S01t. For the case of S1t, if consider S1t, so the output is S01t plus N0t, or if we consider S2t, then the output is S02t plus N0t. Now to minimize the probability of error, one should assume that S1t has been transmitted when one person considered that S1t is transmitted if V0t is closer to S01 cap t than S02t. just for the consideration of our noise purpose in integrator circuit, just consider the example here. See the example here, just here. Now, similarly, we assume that S2T has been transmitted if V0T is closer to S02T than S01T. Therefore, there must have a decision boundary, and which is the midway between S01T and S02T. So, the decision boundary V0T is S01T plus S02T by 2, which is the midway between S01T and S02T. Now, see, when the error occurs, suppose that S01T greater than S02T and S2T was transmitted, actually transmitted. Now, if at the sampling time the noise N0T is positive, again I am repeating very important point. If at the sampling time the noise N0T is positive and larger in magnitude than the voltage difference half S01T plus S02T minus S02T, then an error will have been made. That means an error, we decide that S1T is transmitted rather than S2T. So an error will result if N0T greater than or is equal to S01T minus S02T by 2. Hence, the probability of error is represented by PE, which is, so the limit of the integrator is S01T minus S02T by 2 to infinity, and it is the noise density function e to the power minus N0 square T by 2 sigma 0 square variance square by root over 2 pi variance square dF0T. Now, considering x is equal to N0T by root 2 into sigma 0. Therefore, probability of error PE is equal to half into 2 by root over pi. Yes, same. S01T minus S02T by 2 root 2 sigma 0 and the upper limit of the integrator is infinity e to the power minus x square dx. So after simplification, the probability of error is PE is equal to half ERFC S01T minus S02T by 2 root over 2 sigma 0. So ERFC, as I already described, that it is a complementary error function. Hence, the PE decreases as the difference S01T minus S02T becomes larger, and as the RMS value of noise voltage, that is the sigma 0, becomes smaller, then probability of error decreases. Therefore, optimum filter is the filter which maximizes this ratio. So we have to maximize this ratio to minimize the error probability. So optimum filter is the filter which maximizes this ratio, means S01T minus S02T by noise sigma 0. So it is a filter which maximizes this ratio. Hence, we can say that error probability is minimized. Okay. Now I am ending the session. In the next class, we will calculate the transfer function of the optimum filter. Okay. Thank you so much. I am ending the session.